Hello. In this video, we're going to be talking about something called the chain rule for taking derivatives. I'm going to write chain rule. And this is, at least in my opinion, arguably the most important special rule for taking derivatives, and one that you'll use most often or have to rely on most often, such as it's really essential once you get into more complicated functions, as we'll see in later videos when we do some examples. So the chain rule states, and this is going to be a little bit weird looking, all right? The chain rule states that the derivative with respect to some variable x of the function f of g of x is equal to the derivative of f with respect to g times the derivative of g with respect to x. And hopefully you recognize that this is just our standard, this would be g prime of x, and this would be f prime of g. And this is the most important part to really kind of understand where it's coming from. This thing here, f prime of g. Essentially what we're doing, and I think it would be good to call on u substitution for this, because u substitution just seems like the perfect thing to do. When we're taking this derivative, right, we were taking derivative with respect to x, and I'll get into examples in the next video, but we're taking the derivative with respect to x of f of g of x. And those are just some functions, right? We have an outer function and an inner function, essentially, like sine of cosine theta, or sine of x squared, or cosine x squared, or natural log of 2 to the x, or something like that. Whatever we're having and that we're taking the derivative. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to say that g of x is equal to u. Okay. Now, what that means is that this is going to be, right, we're taking the derivative of f with respect to g, and this is our function f of u, right? This is equal to f of u if our, given this statement here. So what we're going to be doing is we're taking f prime of u, okay, and remember, u is equal to g of x. So when we take the derivative, we're going to get a function for the derivative with respect to u, and we have to remember that we plug in g of x for that. And then we're multiplying by, right, g prime of x. That seems pretty simple. We have our x, that's what we're taking the derivative with respect to x in the first place. So this is essentially what you're doing here. You're taking the derivative where you're pretending that the inner function is just, say, x or u. It's just some variable. You're ignoring the inner function. You're taking the derivative of f of g of x first, as if g of x was just x and it was f of x. In this case, we're calling it f of u, but that's really the same thing. Then we say, hey, wait a minute, after we take the derivative, that's actually x. So that's actually g of x, sorry. So we're going to plug the function g of x into that without changing anything. And then we have to multiply by g prime of x. And in the next video, and I hope I make this more clear then, because first hearing it and seeing all these symbols might not be the best way to understand it. Hopefully it will become more clear then. So thank you for watching.